So you go and find Reich, and Reich at this point in time, I imagine, we'll say Reich is actually over by the docks themselves, but not where your ship is. Over by a different portion of the docks, kind of looking out at sea, perhaps contemplating, you know, the future or the past, or both.
And again, you notice that I haven't fully suited up in my military clothes. I wear just kind of basic wraps with my with the military pants slightly bunched up at the bottom to make them a little bit more comfortable.
Huh?
Wild child.
As you approach,
Right on wild.
I look over my shoulder at you and I say, "Kieran, how have things been going with the ship?"
Very well. 2 weeks time, perhaps.
That's good. It's good to hear.
Um, Listen, we have to get these letters sent out to everyone's next of kin, which means we have to go deal with House Civis. Which means we have to go talk to that gnome. So you're gonna do it. Julian, the letters.
I smile. He smiles a little bit
Here's some gold.
and takes the funds. He says, "I'll do this for you, but let me ask you, how are you feeling about this?
About what?
The dead men and women."
Terrible. It's tragic. I don't know what we're gonna do at this point. I don't know if we should keep him on this journey. It doesn't seem fair, and but I don't know what else we can do. So
You served during the war, correct?
yes. I mean, not really for any particular nation. I am dragon marked after all, and that's not really allowed.
But you served, correct?
Yes.
From what we witnessed earlier, this is still war. It's just a different kind of war. And these people, they signed up for this. You can say that, you can shake your head, but Kieran, these people signed up to be on this ship. They signed up to be on the ship that was going to be captained by a a minotaur with your uncle holding the reins. You think that they would have been in any less dangerous of situations than we thrust them in? But what we're doing here, it means something. I don't expect you to forgive yourself tomorrow. No good leader should ever forget the people that are lost by their decisions, but don't dwell on it so much that it stops you from doing what you need to do. And then
Not
with that,
worth mulling over. It's already forgotten. Not even bothered by it.
I smile a little bit. I think with my natural like +6, I know. So I just smile. I say,
You have to roll.
glad to
Hilarious.
hear it. And I just clasp a hand on your shoulder just for like a very brief moment as I walk by. And I'm gonna go handle this.
It's actually only gonna get worse though. Like once we go where we're going.
I have no response to that, so yeah, I just continue walking.
Okay, and so you're able to go and find the gnome. You're able to go and find the gnome where he's kind of like kept up with his work and everything. Again, he can't really meet up till the evening, and so he does meet up with you. And he's like, "Oh, hey there. It was Reich, correct?"
Correct.
Yeah. What can I help you with? Because last I heard,
Well, there are a number of different messages I need sent, mundanely preferably, but someone who can do so reliably. I have coin, and I would like to negotiate what would be required to send these letters. And I'm going to produce how many letters is it? It's the 5 or 6 crew that died.
yes, correct, to their families.
What weren't there other letters that need to be sent, or were those
Those are already taken
No.
care of.
Yep.
All right, so I would produce the let's say 6 letters, and place them down, and I would say, what coin would be required for the safe delivery of these 6 letters?
These letters are for who? Did you tell him who it was?
I wouldn't.
You were
initially
confirming
say-
with us out of game, but did you tell him in game?
No, I wouldn't initially say. If he says,
He says,
after
and
they
these
went,
letters are in regards to what, if you don't mind my asking?
letters to the family of the fallen.
Ah. Well, if that's the case, there are certain bounds
I have special insurances you can buy.
principles that each one of the houses has with one another for certain things. House Civis, we aren't generally the people that handle messages like that. That's more of a House Orion thing. However, I will make sure that gets to a House Civis post for House Lyrandar, and that House Civis post can bring it to House Orion and have it delivered to the families. This, again, is just one of the things that our houses do for each other because we all understand the significance of loss of our loved ones. We don't have the backing of the nations, so we back each other up. Please, I will... For me to do this, of course, I need to read them. You understand this?
My character probably wouldn't know if that's true or not. So, is there a role I would need to do this?
Insight if you
I
don't
would-
believe him.
Well, it's less. I would my character know this to be
History.
a function?
History.
All right, so that's at disadvantage because it has to do with the houses.
Houses, yep.
A must be the history. All right,
Don't Eric it.
I did it. I did it.
Okay. So you know that there's like different guidelines. Like sometimes they have to know the messages, sometimes they don't. You don't know whether or not it applies here. So it's believable, but you don't know if it's true in this situation.
I would. Will I still be able to try an insight, or it's too late for that?
Yeah, no, dude, you get insight because you're kind of still in that middle ground. Yeah, that's fine. You didn't fail, you didn't succeed.
Try to see if I.
You actually believe him. There's
Okay.
something that he's not mentioning. There's clearly something he's not mentioning, but you do believe him.
Okay, in that case, I would still produce the letters
Like,
and say if you must read them, then please.
if you don't mind, this will take me a little bit. I don't need you around for it, of course.
Okay.
I will read them, and I'll have the messages delivered to my house to, again, pass on, so on, so on. Are you guys staying around this town much longer? Or are you heading back to the other one?
Another 2 weeks, as far as I'm aware, to repair our ship.
So you're not heading on foot back to New Throne?
No.
Oh, okay. There was a rumor saying that was happening.
Why?
I'll be honest, I'm fishing for information right now. I can be blunt because I'm not involved in this other than my curiosity and that of the person that's currently paying me to be in this city.
I nod and I say, and this person, did they specifically ask you, or were you just being thorough?
They'd showed curiosity because obviously they heard of what happened and were curious of the situation. I'm getting that information to deliver to them. And again, for my own curiosity.
Indeed. Well, we are planning on staying for the full 2 weeks. Thank you again for your help. If there's anything I can do in return.
Actually, there is. I have a cousin. I'm, a part of House Civis, but not my whole family is. It's kind of a married. It doesn't matter. I have a cousin who actually works for the Chronicle, and she's been kind of down on getting a good story, and she would love to have a stab at a story that would kind of make her opportunity to make a name for herself in the Chronicle. Do you think perhaps that you and your companions would be willing to give your accounts of the situation that has happened, so that maybe she could break the story in a way that other people weren't expecting?
I would, of course, have to speak to my companions before I speak for them. But I find this to be not only reasonable, given the fact that you've been so helpful to me, but interesting.
Well, you guys let me know. As I said, I'm bound by my house to send these 6 letters out for you, and so, of course, I will do so. But you let me know about that, because I think she would appreciate it, and I would appreciate you doing that for her. But that's neither here nor there, so then I'm going to pry a little bit further. If you don't intend to head back to New Throne, Do you intend to continue sailing back out to? I don't know where you came from or where you were going. Honestly, I'm not going to pry that further. Do you intend to leave Kabara if you don't intend to go back to New Throne?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's actually okay. I suppose good.
Yeah. At least I hope so. Thank you.
You're welcome, of course. And and he hold the letters up and he walks off.
I'm gonna beeline over for Stallbore. Yeah, just like walk very casually out as soon as the door closes.
So Stalbor
Stalbor!
doing two different things in the city. He'd be like being Luca's hype man. Like he's the strong. This is all Karnath's strength. Strongest man in Karnath right here. And then also just sort of like hanging around House Kundarat. Actually, do they have? Does this bank connect to the worldwide bank? Because Stalbor actually has a bank account with them.
Yes.
And he would take out all the money he has in that bank account.
Yes.
He'd just be like, I have lost a lot of goods recently if they are.
How much do you have in there?
280 gold.
Sure. They would tell you that you're more than welcome to remove the funds. Do you want to take all of it, or do you want to leave the 5 gold in to keep the account open?
I will leave. I'll take a 200 and I'll leave the. I've got it's like
This is too real.
there'll be 83 left.
You
There'll
get
be one left.
Sure, absolutely.
Why not, right?
And actually, you don't have 283 gold in there due to investments and whatnot, and the success that the bank has had. You actually have 285 gold and 3 silver.
Hey
I have
man,
80.
hey, that bank interest doing you good,
Hey,
doing
you
work.
better pay attention to this, Luca. This bank account literally has written that, like, it goes on to you when Stalbor dies.
Yeah, no,
Better-
I am paying attention.
So yeah, I'll take that out, just for good measure. And then what I'd be doing in the city would be making health potions and brewing them and selling them. But I don't have time to do that yet, so that's where you can find me. You leave in the bank, jangling money.
I walk up to you and just kind of say, "Can we speak somewhere private?"
Is there anywhere private here?
More or less, piss off, Luca.
Well, no, it's less piss off Luca and more let's get out of the city center.
Luca wouldn't be upset by that.
No, I would kind of look at Luca expectantly, like not like leave, like kind of like, come on.
Yeah.
Right, let's walk and talk.
I would walk by the dock somewhere where there's less people, and I would say, "Let's have an interesting conversation with the gnome from House Civis. It
Really?
appears that whoever is employing him to be in the city had an interest in our adventure. He asked me some strange questions. Things like if we intended to leave Kabara after this. He also asked me another thing. I don't know if this is related or not, but I figured it worth mentioning. He claims to have a cousin who works at the Korenberg Chronicle, and she wishes to interview us, given our most recent adventures. I don't know how Kieran will feel about this, but I wanted to run this by you.
Now that's interesting. See, me and Luca, we just realized that we've been struggling on gold. Not struggling, but if we need money to deal with all the problems in the world, we need good money. That might be a good way to get money by selling our story.
I was thinking more the exposure might prove problematic. I think that we're giving tools to the people who are hunting us.
But it would be a double-edged sword. We would be admitting, even if we're subtle, we'd be admitting what we know. We'd also let the people know what we know, even if we're subtle. Most of the people who read the Kronberg Chronicle are quite smart, Stalbor says, with a copy of the Kronberg Chronicle in his pocket.
And based off of that, perhaps if we drop some subtle hints, maybe some other outside sleuths might be able to provide us some information, maybe some stuff that we haven't been able to come across.
If I remember correctly, the Chronicle is
Wait,
separate from the dragon-marked houses, so it might even be a fairly safe bet.
I actually have another idea.
Yeah.
One that if it's accomplished, I do not think that Kieran will like.
I really don't like any of this.
Well,
What if we take a copy of what Dane gave to us and we published it?
That might be a bit too far.
Listen, we have no idea what any of this stuff means. We could publish it under the pretense of it simply being a series of puzzles. And if we work with this woman, we can give her our story in exchange for her helping us.
The counterpoint is, if these were all pieced together, then this would be giving the villains the entire story. After we're done in the dwarven realms for your to find your carapace, we'll be heading to Aeronel, and I think people who have been watching me might have the answers we seek. It might be a long shot, but hold off on that idea precisely. But hey,
Okay,
why
that's an
not?
idea.
Why not crowdsource the puzzle of the world, right?
Well, it was an idea worth floating at the very least. All right. Well, in that case, we should you two consider what I have said about the story, and more importantly, be careful. Someone's asking questions about our whereabouts. Who's associated with the houses? I know that's unsurprising to say the least, but someone so as bold-faced to ask me directly.
Well, gnomes are rarely as tricksy as people say. If they're gonna do something against you, they do it to your face.
I'll speak to Kieran about this and see where she stands. I don't know if she'll be as receptive about the interview, but I'll see if I can talk her into it.
Keep an eye on her. We should keep in doubles at the very least if there is someone looking at us.
He almost had talked some sense into her.
Well, if we're going to speak to Kieran, eyes darting quickly at Luca and then back at you. I think it's probably better if I go alone.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I just figured that out. I said you'll see a smile on Luca's face, and he'll just be like, "Yeah,
Well, you were here? What?
yeah,
Even though Luca was here the whole time, I thought we were alright.
no." He motioned for me to follow.
I thought he motioned.
Well, I was
Piss off.
I was motion. I wanted him to talk to us about this because I needed him to say whether he would do the interview.
Oh.
But now I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be
Yeah,
able to.
well, whatever. It's basically my opinion.
I say, Luca, when you have a free moment sometime, we should talk. I clasp my hand on your shoulder. I would do the same for Stalborn, and then I'll go try to find Kieran.
Getting strong.
Doing all that lifting.
Not as strong as you with that belt, though.
Hey,
You'll see a flex out of Luca.
he'll put that flex. Yeah, I would go find Kieran.
Okay, you go find her easily, no problem. She's overseeing people fixing the boat, dissatisfied with the quality of work that they're doing, even though it's not that bad.
Have you ever heard the
Not that bad is not good enough.
Exactly.
All right.
Have you ever heard the saying, "A watch pot never boils"?
Not that bad is not good enough. Peter, right?
I shake my head and I say, I was offered something. I want
Yeah?
to speak to you about it. Apparently, the man who is delivering the letters kindly first he decided to deliver them for free, kindly enough. So I'd hand back whatever
Isn't that
money
a
she
thing,
gave to
Scott?
me.
I would know if that's a thing.
What? Which part of it?
The delivering of the letters.
Yeah, of course,
I
absolutely.
did not know that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But it was a matter of, again, it's like there are certain things that you have to do for the other houses. They have to do for you. The houses have to do for
Yeah.
each other. Yeah.
They have to work.
It's
Yeah.
because think about the 12. You know how it works.
Yeah, there are 12 monopolies. Each individual monopolies have to work together. Yep, I get it.
And I would just hand her back whatever gold she gave me in the first place, and I say,
I wasn't sure.
he did, however, ask something, not an ask as though his cooperation hinged on it, but just something to consider. He says that he has a friend or a cousin or some relation that works at the Kornborg Chronicle who wished to interview us about our adventures so far.
Uh-huh.
I I think this would prove a useful opportunity.
What would we tell them?
Well, that would be something that we'd have to sit down together, emphasis placed on that, and discuss.
I think that's a terrible idea.
And why is that?
Well, what good do you expect to come from it, first of all?
Well, exposure. If we are,
Don't
if
want
our names,
exposure.
you say that, but the fact is that our enemies are the ones who need to operate in the dark, not us. If we
Our
operate in the dark,
enemies operate in broad daylight, as 12 of the most influential organizations on this country.
yes, but they do their dirty deeds in the dark.
Of course they do. Everyone
nice-
knows that.
And if we had exposure,
Do you remember
if
when we
some-
talked to that kid, that princeling of Breland, and his father said nobody trusts the house ever? Yeah, the king of Breland said that. Because nobody trusts the house. Because they all know they do shady shit.
as I am apt to agree, but the best way for us to keep ourselves safe is to make sure we are in the public eye.
So we go and we talk to them. First of all, nothing's going to get published that the 12 don't want published. All right? Let's get that straight. Do you want to know what's happening in Lazar? I would love to know what's happening in Lazar. We actually have to go there to figure out. Know why? Because the principalities have said at least 3 different times that everything's fine there.
How do you know that this is not something the principalities have done? I'm one who would.
Their people are literally starving, and dying. I don't think that's something they want.
I'm one who will who will be quick to believe that the houses are much more malignant than they let on. But do you really think
I'm
them
telling
so
you,
powerful as to control all
Irvindar is
things?
keeping them quiet.
Yes, but that does not mean that they have bought and paid for everything in the Korenberg Chronicle.
They bought
Yeah.
that much at least.
And
And now you're going through House Civis to get to this information, and
a person who of his own admission is not a full-blood member of House Civis. He's married in. And
yeah,
he's a
so was
lesser
the member of House Canth that blew up our ship.
We don't know that what he was given, for what he gave as payment, was something he constructed himself.
I actually don't think he was behind it, but
I'm ought to agree with you.
we need to talk to the rest about that and what we're going to do.
That was the second thing I wish to discuss with you. During our conversation, he asked me if we were going to go seek him out. I said no. Now, you know that I am not one to simply just jump into the fray without at least having a plan. And I know that you are my exact opposite in this manner. Did you have any intentions of going back now without the ship? If you did, now would be the time.
I wouldn't call it an intention. It's definitely on the table. But we need to
Well,
discuss.
Then discuss we should, and somewhere quiet, because I've told him what could potentially be a lie, and this might be one of our best opportunities. He openly admitted that his employer, whoever he is, has been asking after us.
I'm not surprised.
Whether he just be an interested noble or something more nefarious. I've deflected his attention for the time being.
Okay,
So
well, let's discuss.
then let's go get the others. And before we do, you should.
I don't like when you get quiet before you explain something to me, Eric.
I smile and I say, I usually get quiet because I fear the thunder that will happen afterwards. I know Luca has faults,
Luca
but
is a little fucking twat.
listen. For his faults, he is a good man, and more
Bullshit.
importantly, he is, and more importantly, he's our companion, one of the few people that we can actually trust. And I know that you have a hard time with dealing with people like him, someone as strong-headed as him, but in our endeavor together, you must remember that we are all we have. And if you push Luca
Yeah,
away,
that would be great if I could fucking trust him. Anything.
but why can't you? What he said to you in the bar, that was a form of rash, but that's at least something you can appreciate. How many things have you spoken out in
No, I
anger?
can't appreciate when I tell him to, like, gather all the lamps, and he does it, and gives that information to our enemies. Like, that is the thing I can't tolerate. Like, you know,
Yes.
honestly, it's true. What he said was true. We are friends, because if we weren't friends, I would have tossed him off the fucking boat.
Kieran, when he were doing that, you were acting on the orders of N.
I
And
understand
N is not
that.
something is someone he can trust. And you have shown that you implicitly trust N.
It doesn't matter if you trust him or not. He has to trust me. And that's the problem.
Yes, but think about it this way. It's taken me this long to learn that fact. Think of how much longer it's going to take Luca. He doesn't have have any information on my brother he refuses to release. He has no connection to my life versus other than what our interactions are together now. Think about how Luca must feel. You're an incredibly intelligent woman.
More. Tired of it. Tired of his feelings.
And I'm sure at times he's tired of yours. But, Karen, at the end of the day, we're all we have.
I know,
Just
I
think
get
about
that. I get it. It's fine. I'm just mad at him.
I'm feeling it's time for a hug. Is it a hug time?
No, it's not.
I just go.
Stop.
Yes. And at that, he would actually openly laugh and then just turn and say, "Come on, the ship's doing fine." Though they are. Is the hull supposed to be that crooked?
Really?
I'd laugh and just walk away.
I know. I imagine they talk like here and there, but yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll tell Wright that I'll beat him back at whatever, unless he wants to join in a conversation as well.
No, I was muted that whole time. I was saying that that N would have been clearly listening to the.
Yeah, we heard you weren't muted.
No, I
Oh,
was
he's-
to them because of my food.
Yeah.
'Cause of my food, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
so he's clearly listening into us. Well, I'd probably want unless he like made it quite obvious that he
No,
just wants to talk to
wait.
Karen.
When you walked away.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When you walked away, she'll be leaning on the
He's-
ledge of the ship, just kind of like looking at Karen, like, and just has that face, like, yeah, I was like, not even guilty, just like, yeah, I was listening. And then when Karen's kind of like, she'll kind of give that like nod for Karen to come up into the ship, and then Aaron, you were saying from there.
Oh no, it's fine. Like if it was after Wright already walked away, I was gonna say like I'll meet him back at whatever. Since we were all gonna be together as a party, so I'll meet you guys at the tavern, I guess.
Yep. She's like, more or less, I'll meet you after the break. So,
We'll get the other two.
Yeah, so you go up to to Seizure, and Seizure, that's not good, and when you're up there, she's like, so Kieran, you've been rather distracted lately, and understandably so. I know that you had a fight with them because you've been cussing about it angrily and aloud for a couple days. And you've distracted yourself with the work of the ship. But you and I haven't discussed in ages what the fuck happened while we were sailing and things blew up. I got the gist. I was there. Luca did a great job at saving
she'll tell
everybody,
him
but
That's the story, yeah. Like that we were given these as payment, and they exploded.
I know all of that. However, what's going on? What's the plan from here?
We're either gonna go back to New Throne and figure out what happened, or we're gonna press on, depending on what we decide.
Where do you want to go? What do you think is more important, Karen?
I think it's important that we press forward.
You brought me here for a reason.
I did.
You brought me here because you think that I will have use. I'm not sure exactly which uses you're looking to get from me, but I do have quite a few. One of them is helping to repair the ship quickly. I'm good at this stuff because I spent a lot of time on a ship. I'm not particularly good at repairs, but I understand the ship well enough to lend a hand, and it's effectively a free hand, right? I also could easily get back into New Throne without anybody thinking anything. As a matter of fact, I can get back into New Throne with people thinking whatever you want them to. Maybe even you find your way into New Throne, but with better decisions being made while there.
I think my decisions are fine.
I'm sure that they are, but the mess is really difficult to clean up. You brought me here for a reason.
I did. It wasn't really for that purpose, although I do appreciate the offer.
I know that you want me here for the principalities. I get it. But we're here, and I can swing a hammer, but so can that guy.
I feel weird asking you to be somebody you're not. I know it's kind of, in a sense, what you are also, but I feel mean about it, if that makes any sense.
I don't mind going. I have the perfect outfit for the situation. And anything that I don't have, you can always lend me.
Okay.
I think it'd fit in your shoes nicely.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Just one thing. No, I will not pretend to be you to test in front of your friends, because I do not want to deal with that situation. Luca, when he realizes, if he's able to realize, would be furious with both of us.
There's no way he would know.
You're right, but on the slim chance that Stalbor picks it up and drops a hint, because the two of them are very close.
I think Stalbor keep a secret. We should take a bet.
No, because Reich also could potentially pick it up. Honestly, Luca's the least of my concerns in picking things up, but were they to be picked up, he's going to be the one that wants to throw down.
Fine. You're no fun.
Cautious, Kieran. Cautious. So,
all right.
I will gladly head back to New Throne for you. I just want to know what to wear.
Yeah, sure. Like she'll grab something for him.
So it's literally just kind of like out of game description in case anybody kind of got lost. Is she going disguised as one of her disguises that are locked up in that room over there, or is she going just as Kieran? So it's one of those, like, do you want her to bring your clothes just in case? Like go as both?
Yeah, just in case, whatever fits the occasion.
Okay. I do have one more request since I'm going to be doing. Oh, this really is a nice blouse.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to wearing that. So, do you have anything to seem a little? I don't have your abilities. I have abilities. I don't have your abilities. Do you have anything?
Did you copy the appearance?
Absolutely, 100%, of course. And then all of a sudden,
I
you
would
were looking
actually
at a goddamn mirror.
Give him.
But different clothes.
The two rings I have, the feather fall and the swimming. That's all I got, really.
Sure. So you give those.
Oh wait, no, I don't have those anymore. No, yes, I do.
Yes, you have yours. You just don't have the other one. So you give those to Jer, and she's like, "All right, this will do where I need it to be. All right." You go.
Do you need this? Which will hold up like a signet ring as well. Sure, I'll take it.
It's one of those. Yes.
I can get another one.
I'm sure I could now too. She says perfectly in your voice.
All right. Well, it's lucky I trust you.
You're lucky that I'm willing to do this.
Yeah. Well. Isn't it so glad we didn't kill each other?
It's still on the table.
It's true.
And then she kind of seems slightly amused, mostly disinterested, as she just grabs the clothes and walks out of the room. There's a bit too heavy of a step, and as she walks out of the room, the door shuts a little too tight, and you think, wow, why is she being such a bit? And with that, we'll cut to break. See y'all in a couple of minutes.
Oh.